Good evening. Welcome to Monday. It's the week of Thanksgiving. So, if you guys are able to tune in, maybe you're at home, maybe you're traveling, who knows, but no matter what, welcome to the show. My name's Stuart Davis. Flawed man of God, a humble parishioner at a church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I'm not a pastor, not a biblical scholar, and I haven't been to seminary. I'm not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm here to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about Christianity, talk about the Bible, talk about a wide variety of different issues, topics, and current events, and give you my perspective on them. One that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. I've been a Christian all my life, 40 years non denominational Protestant. Don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the Word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right. Many times I'll get it wrong. But no matter what, if you're tuning in here, if you are hearing me streaming, if it is my words going out there, it's my honest opinions and analysis on whatever it is we're talking about. So if you're somebody who is new to the faith, or maybe you're not in the faith at all, maybe you're just questioning, maybe you're just searching for something, maybe there's a voice in the back of your mind wondering if there's more to your existence than just your life here on earth. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you're finding this in the right setting, in the place, in a setting that you want to be, right? Maybe you don't want to listen to some social media influencer talk about their faith. Maybe you don't want to just jump right into any church and listen to somebody who does this, who preaches for a living, right? Who gets paid by the church. Maybe you want to hear it. Uh, maybe you want to. Maybe you want some answers. Maybe you want some perspective from someone who is sitting in the pew next to you and not there on the pulpit. Maybe you want to see somebody who has been around it for a while, but doesn't necessarily have anything to gain financially from it. Okay. That's you'll find here, right? It's a very amateur, very layperson stream. We just try to look at what's going on and and figure it out and use scripture, use the faith to go forward. Hopefully, what you get out of this is going to set you up and springboard you onto a path to salvation and a walk closer to Christ. And I welcome you again and hope that you stick around. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and discussions, welcome as well. You'll find we run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or Sunday school. It's very calm, well, maybe not always calm. It is definitely casual, definitely relaxed, definitely a comfortable setting. A place where we could all get together and enjoy some fellowship and share thoughts, ask questions. So, no matter where you are, whether you are just wondering about the faith, or if maybe you're more mature in your faith than I am, please get into the chat. We've got a great chat, great group of folks who tune in and night out, and share their opinions, share their thoughts on whatever. And I want you to be there as well. Tell me what you think I'm right on. Me what you think I'm wrong on. Tell me whatever it is we're discussing. Maybe you have some personal insight. Maybe you have a personal experience. Maybe you've got your own opinion that differs from mine. I want to hear it. Want to hear it. The chat makes this show better. You make this show better. Be part of the show. Help guide the discussion to something that will help all of us. So, with that said, happy Monday, everybody. We have reached the week that marches slowly and inexorably towards Turkey Day. And look, I don't know what y'all's family situations are. I don't know what your friend's situation are. Maybe you guys have got are close with your family. Maybe you have a large family. Maybe you have a small family. Um, maybe you are estranged from your family. Maybe you are kind of a shut-in. Maybe you are a social butterfly. It's time to take stock. Right? Time to take stock and count your blessings. See how if your blessings are working for you, or you're taking advantage of them, be thankful for that. If you find yourself just at a low point, maybe it's time to ask for help from God. Maybe He's given you the tools, and you just need to reassess the direction that your life is going. But time to this week in particular is a week to be thankful. There's a few weeks that I point out for that. Thanksgiving, just because of what it is, what it represents. Christmas, which is right, you know, coming up on the home stretch to the end of the year. Christmas is right there, and we're thankful for what God sent to us, sending Jesus to us, and then Easter, when we take that we are thankful for the most precious gift that came from the most difficult of sacrifices. But this week we're here with Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys are going to have a great Thanksgiving. I'm not going to be streaming on Thursday because of that, but I'll probably stream Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll probably stream those days. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I did. I took 2 trees down in the yard. Neither of them landed on my house. One that I was worried was going to take out the fence didn't take out the fence. I was worried that both were close enough and big enough that if they landed on the house, they're going to do some serious damage. But no, I've got 2 trees laying down, waiting for me to cut them up with the chainsaw, some more, and have plenty of firewood for the chimney, for the fireplace, and plenty for the fire pit. And so one of the things I'm going to be doing this weekend during this break is taking some time to cut the wood, split it, and then have my kids learn how to stack it. Because that's what I had to do. And I got this rotten old wood pile that I need to kind of revamp. So I'm going to relocate it, put some new pallets down, and start a new pile. They were oh, I haven't said good evening to everybody. Good evening, everybody. Emmanuel Sorio, let's go on the road, but glad to going to be here. Like I said, if you're listening in, you're listening in. I don't look, Emmanuel. I always enjoy your commentary, but hey, if you're driving, just enjoy the smooth tones of my voice, and hopefully, I'll say some things that you can go, hell yeah, brother. Matt Felty, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you as well. Low from Veritex. Hello from Alias. And where's our friend Blaine? Man has been in Japan for like 3 months. Comes back, takes another month break, and then decides he's not going to stream tonight either. Terrible. It's terrible. Veritex said, so the wrath of Stu has been wrought o'er the trees therein. They were both dead. One of them landed on my van, so it had to go. One of them had a very large section of it land on my van, which is in the body shop currently. So they got to go. And one of them was actually the big one, or the bigger one, and it was about good 2.5 feet around, and pretty tall. It was leaning towards the house, so we go to cut it, and so obviously we're making the initial cut in a direction that'll have it just falling into the driveway as you're leaving the house. So we've got all the vehicles moved. Drop it in there, so then you've got less to cut, and just move the stuff out of the way until you're ready to cut it up for firewood. So we start cutting it, and we're cutting the initial cut, then the top cut down, and it's not moving. It's wobbling a little bit. It's this for being dead. This is a very flexible tree, and it's not moving. And again, it's leaning towards the house. We're trying to get it to go in an opposite direction, and we've cut it very, very almost all the way through, and it is not moving in the direction we need it to. We've got it hooked up to a rope and a come along to a pickup truck, and we've got tension on it. So, so we're starting to get nervous. Starting to get a little nervous. Like, okay, so we make the back cut on it. Make the back cut down to give it more incentive to go the way we want it to go. And finally, after we pull on it a little bit, it starts to go. Starts to go in the direction we need it to go, and then whop, gets caught on another tree, real up high, so it doesn't have a whole lot of momentum to blow through the branches on the other tree. It's hung on it. We're like, are you kidding me? It's like, well, at least it's not falling on the house. Of course, now we got to worry about it taking out other trees, and then all that ends up being a mess. So put it in drive, pull it down. Eventually, it starts falling. My son's out in the yard at a safe distance, yelling timber every time the tree moves a few inches. It's hilarious for him. But the tree did come down, and I think it came down on my axe, because I can't find it now. And now I'm worried when I'm going to be cutting this thing up that I'm going to hit that damn axe head. I hope I don't. That's going to be I'm not going to like that. And then the other tree, the way the backyard is situated, there's two. It's longer than it. The fencing behind our house is longer or wider than it is deep. But the easiest way to drop it would be to drop it straight back. And so it'll definitely take out the fence. Now it's just a wire livestock fence. So it's nothing to get too. It's not an expensive endeavor. It's just a pain in the butt. So we were trying to decide. We were trying to decide if we wanted to just drop it straight back. Should we just clip the wire, pull it out, clip the wire on two sides, take a section out, and then drop the tree, cut it up, move it out of the way, and then put the fence section in the back there, and then wire it back up. So me and my dad are looking at it, and he goes, "No, let's drop it the long way, and I think we can miss the fence, or at least do as little damage as possible." So start cutting it. This one doesn't want to move. Let's start. This was the most nerve-wracking tree cutting I've done, and I've cut trees out of my house. The tree landed on our house, and so finally, and this is a much smaller tree, so we wrap a rope around it and we start pulling on it, and it starts going the way we want it to go. And as soon as it starts moving, boom, hits another tree, and we're like, we can't win for losing. So we start tugging on it, and we tug on it, it drops, and we tugged it so when it came loose, it came at an angle. And when it came in, yeah, I'm not kidding. I got a photograph of it. The tip of the tree landed that close to the fence. That close. It was a perfect drop. We saw it happen, and we didn't see the fence break, and we saw it was close, and me and my dad looked at each other like, yeah, throwing it, because we're men. We're cutting down trees with power tools, so gas-powered power tools. And so we go up there, and I take a picture. I was like, "Oh man, you believe it's close?" It was the perfect drop. It was the absolute perfect drop. And even though our initial cut wasn't going to have it drop and it was going to hit the fence, the fact that we dropped it and it didn't hit the fence means that we did it on purpose. That was how it was planned out. And there's no living with me now. Anyway, so I got firewood to cut. That's my story for the weekend. Hopefully you guys have got a good story as well. All right, so into into the topic proper. Been going through Psalms, and if you've been listening along, it doesn't take very long for you to see that the book of Psalms, or Psalm, whatever you want to call it, book of Psalms is a beautiful book. It's poetic, it's touching, it reaches out to God in many ways. It's relatable. It is a collection of praises, prayers, requests, whatever, illustrations of the greatness of God. And a lot of it comes from David. And he is not going to disappoint again tonight, I am sure. We're getting close. We're getting very close to the very famous Psalm 23. And if you guys don't know Psalm 23 by name, you'll probably know Psalm 23 once we read it, because it is one that, aside from maybe even more recognizable than John 3:16, not from Christians, but worldwide, because it's Psalm 23 is one of the most quoted, the most recognizable um, ver- chapters in the Bible. Period. Period. Anyway, but we're not there yet. We're in Psalm 17 and 18 tonight, so we're going to go over them. We're going to talk about them like we normally do, and hopefully you guys have got some feedback to offer me. Because, like I said, look, poetry classes, whatever, everybody's got a different take on what the author's trying to get at. Me your opinion. All right, let me pull it up. That's the wrong button, Stuart. I've been playing Starfield. It's been great. It's been a great exercise. All right. Psalm 17, a prayer of David. Hear me, Lord. My plea is just. Listen to my cry. Hear my prayer. It does not rise from deceitful lips. Let my vindication come from you. May your eyes see what is right. Though you probe my heart, though you examine me at night and test me, you will find that I have not. I'm sorry. Though you probe my heart, though you examine me at night and test me, you will find that I have planned no evil. My mouth has not transgressed. Though people have tried to bribe me, I have kept myself from the ways of the violent, through what your lips have commanded. My steps have held your paths, my feet have not stumbled. I call on you, my God, for you will I call on you, my God, for you will answer me. Turn your ear to me and hear my prayer. Show me the wonders of your great love. You who save by your right hand those who take refuge in you from their foes. Keep me as the apple of your eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings from the wicked who are out to destroy me, from my mortal enemies who surround me. They close up their callous hearts and their mouths speak with arrogance. They have tracked me down. They now surround me with eyes alert to throw me to the ground. They are like a lion hungry for prey, like a fierce lion crouching in cover. Rise up, Lord. Confront them. Bring them down. Bring with your sword. I'm sorry. Rise up, Lord. Confront them. Bring them down with your sword. Rescue me from the wicked. By your hand, save me from such people, Lord, from those of this world whose reward is in this life. May what you have stored up for the wicked fill their bellies. May their children gorge themselves on it, and may there be leftovers for their little ones. As for me, I will be vindicated and will see your face. When I awake, I will be satisfied with seeing your likeness. There's a lot going on here, guys. What's going on, Jenny? How's it going? A lot going on here. We we see this is all coming from, again, it's David, right? So oftentimes there's an adversary involved, and he's praying for deliverance from that. But he starts this off, "Hear me, Lord," and this is a part that I have difficulty relating to. I have difficulty relating to this because I am constantly questioning my own or the status of my own righteousness. How good am I? Right? How and David does not have this problem. At least not at this point. And we know, and David, look, no getting around it. David's a great dude, man after God's own heart. He does make mistakes, but they're very few and far between. And he's very humble, and he seems to try to not make the same mistake twice. As far as things that tick God off, he doesn't make the same mistake twice. So, but his first thing is, "Hey, God, it's me, David. It's me, King David. Listen to me. Listen to me. Hear me out because I'm going to be honest with you, and I know that you can see how good and righteous I am. You can look into my heart. You can see that I'm pure. You can see that I'm free from corruption. I have tried my best to walk a path um, most like yours, and I feel that I've done a good job." And that's what David's saying. What makes this difficult for me is I constantly get hung up on, and for good, for better or for worse, I constantly get hung up on the things that I do that I shouldn't. It's one thing, it's a handful of things, it's whatever. When I go to bed at night, a lot of times when I pray, I'm conversing with God, I'm thinking about the things that I could have done better. And a lot of them are repeats. Or a lot of nights there's repeats. And I'm like, why do I keep screwing up? Why do I keep um why do I keep falling into this bad habit? Right? And it's nothing like super egregious or super I mean, it's all egregious. It's sin. God hates sin. And we are to try to purge ourselves from all of it. But this is not like um scandalous things. But they're the wrong things. And I think the problem with a lot of times with the less scandalous things is that because there are super scandalous ones, there are very heavy sins, murder, right? We can talk about murder, we can talk about rape, we can talk about child abuse, the heavy hitters, the ones that you want to put the perpetrator to death over. There's so much of that we see in the world around us that it kind of makes ours, gossiping, maybe watching a little pornography. Everybody does it. That's the other thing, the proliferation of it, right? Anger, argumentative, yelling at people, adultery, um, stealing things. Anybody ever have LimeWire? Anybody have Kazaa, Napster before they made you pay for it? Anybody on Pirate Bay? Right, stealing stuff. I was there. I got a host of toasted computers that that I left in my wake that It bit the dust because of it. It's still theft. Still the wrong thing. Still the wrong thing. You badmouth your coworker behind his back. Maybe he's ticking you off, and you've got another coworker, and you're venting on that. Okay, it's a little bit of gossip, right? Everybody does it. It's the water cooler. Maybe you got a boss just gets on your nerves, right? It's like, I hate that guy. You're full of loathing, hate for your fellow man. Let's not try and pass off what we do that it's wrong as if it's nothing, because there are seemingly worse things out there. We have, as a faith, different denominations within the faith excused excused sins, or looked over them, or ignored them, because they're either so widely participated in that you don't want to make people feel guilty. I don't want to preach about that. Everybody does it, then I'm gonna seem like I'm a stick in the mud, and they're gonna think like, well, he just doesn't like anything that anybody does. Well, no, you shouldn't like any sin. I'm getting a little offbeat, off topic here. The point is, going back to where I started with this, is my sins are my sins, and like I said, they're not scandalous. They're not gonna land me in on the front page of the news, or the page 6, or any of that other stuff. But I still do them. They're still wrong. And maybe that's worse for me for not fixing them. Because I know better. Damn. So it's hard for me to come at my prayers the way David comes in the beginning of this. And look, and again, there's the other thing. I'm not David. And maybe you guys feel a little bit more righteous. Maybe you guys are. You guys are better than me. And this is easier for you to kind of, I guess, have a pretty clear conscience when you pray to God. Hey, I know I'm really rocking and rolling right now. Nevertheless, this is where David is. But what he's going to talk about later on, anybody can, I think a lot of folks can relate to. I call on you, my God, for you will answer me. Faith. I'm not just throwing this prayer out into the ether. I'm calling on my God, who I belong to, knowing that he is going to give me an answer. Turn your ear to me and hear my prayer. Show me the wonders of your great love, you who have saved by your right hand those who take refuge in you from their foes. David knows this. David knows this as well as anyone, because God has given him refuge from his foes. We're going to talk about that in the next psalm that we get to tonight. But it's not just, again, you're physically being chased from one place to the other by people who want to kill you. Maybe you don't live in some parts of Africa or Asia where being a Christian will get you chased and killed. I'm assuming, for the most part, the bulk of my audience is not in that situation. But maybe you have a bully. Maybe you've got some demons. Maybe it's different. Maybe you've got addictions, past trauma, history of abuse, whatever. And it's pointing you in a direction away from God. Or that's the intent. Take refuge in the Lord instead of letting those outside influences, outside factors, those tools of Satan get to you. God will be a refuge for you. Keep me as the apple of your eye. Hide me in the shadow of your wings. From the wicked who are out to destroy me, from my mortal enemies surrounded me, who surround me. What better way what better relatable point we have here than having God there who loves us so much. He sends Christ down to die for our sins. From who? From ourselves? From each other? From Satan? The wicked who are out to destroy me? I'm wicked. I try to destroy myself all the time, apparently. Satan's definitely wicked. And there are other people out there who want to see me taken down a peg or two, or maybe just want to bring me down onto their level of apostasy or sin or whatever you want to call it. Everybody, Blaine is here from his 6-month hiatus. 4 months in Japan and 2 months wherever else. Still not streaming tonight. Blaine, glad you had a great trip. Looking forward to your streaming tomorrow. Big missing. Big hole in my life. But I've been filling it with a rerun episode, binge watching episodes of Suits. Alex Moore, good evening as well, sir. Hour late? Half an hour late. Half an hour late. Old man nap. Old man naps are the best. Anyway, God keeps us as the apple of his eyes. We have Christ's sacrifice. We have that ability. We have redemption. We have repentance. We have a lot that God has given us to hide us from hide us in the shadow of his wings from our enemies. They close up their callous hearts, and their mouths speak with arrogance. They have tracked me down. They now surround me with eyes alert to throw me to the ground. They are like a lion hungry for prey, like a fierce lion crouching for cover. Guys, there are two folks out there that this reminds me of. One that I famously call, or famous for me. I'm not famous. I'm not famous. But I call them Reddit tier atheists. Reddit tier takes, atheist takes. Folks who are on social media in one capacity or another, who want to talk about how dumb it is to believe in God because there is no God, or Muhammad is God and there is no, or Muhammad's the prophet of Allah and Allah is God and there's not a trinity, or Buddha is the way, or whomever. The real cringy ones you see on the internet are the ones who want to bring back the Nordic gods or the Greek gods, Greek or Roman gods, because they think that somehow that's better. It's dumb. But if you listen to what they have to say, it's oftentimes some of the most self-interested, condescending, arrogant crap you can hear. And there are also Christians who are in the faith for the wrong reason. They're in the faith to glorify themselves. They're in the faith to enrich themselves monetarily. And those, I think, particularly, well, both actually, he'll talk about some more. Rise up, Lord, confront them, bring them down with your sword, rescue me from the wicked. By your hand, save me from such people, Lord. Please deliver me from these Twitter atheists. Please deliver me from them. But here's the by your hand, save me from these people, from such people, Lord, from those of this world whose reward is in this life. Those who have chosen. I said chosen. Sorry, any Calvinists out there. This is the way I'm going with this. Those who have chosen to reject the gift that Christ offers us. Those who want to live in this worldly cesspool of hedonism. Those who don't want to give up the sins that they have because it feels good, but they just want to. Those who live in the world for today, for what they can see and touch. Fame, riches, glory, celebrity, whatever you want, whatever it is. That they just want to be one with. David's asking them, give them all that they can spare. May their children gorge themselves. May what you have stored up for the wicked fill their bellies. May their children gorge themselves on it, and may there be leftovers for their little ones. 3 generations worth. But give them all that they can handle. Give it to them. If that's what they want, give it to them. Because as for me, I will be vindicated and will see your face. When I wake, I will be satisfied with seeing your likeness. But when I die and go to heaven and I'm past this world and I see you and I'm in your presence, that's all that's all I want. I'm not worried about the rewards available to me on this earth. I'm worried about getting rewards in the hereafter. You live 100 years. 100 years, eternity. 100 years, eternity. Which one's last longer? Which one should you side with? I get it. It's easy. It's easy to be tempted because it's tangible. It's right in your face. It's immediate. It's right now. There's a level of certainty with it. Whereas an eternity with God requires faith to commit to it. Psalm 18. This is a long one. This is a long one. For the director of music, of David, the servant of the Lord. He sang to the Lord the words of this song when the Lord delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul. All right, so that gives us our reference point there. He said, I love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I called to the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and I have been saved from my enemies, and the cords of death entangled me. The torrents of destruction overwhelmed me. The cords of the grave coiled around me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress, I called to the Lord, cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. The earth trembled and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains shook. They trembled because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils. Consuming fire came from his mouth. Burning coals blazed out of it. He parted the heavens and came down. Dark clouds were under his feet. He mounted the cherubim and flew. He soared on the wings of the wind. He made darkness his covering, his canopy around him, the dark rain clouds of the sky. Out of the brightness of his presence, clouds advanced, with hailstones and bolts of lightning. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded. He shot his arrows and scattered the enemy. With great bolts of lightning, he routed them. The valleys of the sea were exposed, and the foundations of the earth laid bare at your rebuke, Lord, at the blast of breath from your nostrils. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. The Lord has dealt with me according to my righteousness. According to the cleanness of my hands, he has rewarded me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord. I am not guilty of turning from my God. All his laws are before me. I have not turned away from his decrees. I have been blameless before him, and I have kept myself from sin. The Lord has rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his sight. To the faithful you shall show yourselves faithful. To the blameless you show yourselves blameless. To the pure you show yourself pure. But to the devious you show yourself shrewd. You save the humble, but bring low those whose eyes are haughty. You, Lord, keep my lamp burning. My God turns my darkness into light. With your help, I can advance against a troop. With my God, I can scale a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. The Lord's word is flawless. He shields all who take refuge in him. For who is God besides the Lord? And who is the rock except our God? It is God who arms me with strength and keeps my way secure. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He causes me to stand on the heights. He trains my hands for battle. My arms can bend a bow of bronze. You make your saving help my shield, and your right hand sustains me. Your help has made me great. You provide a broad path for my feet, so that my ankles do not give way. I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn back till they were destroyed. I crushed them so that they could not rise. They fell beneath my feet. You armed me with strength for battle. You humbled my adversaries before me. You made my enemies turn their backs in flight, and I destroyed my foes. They cried for help, but there was no one to save them. To the Lord, but he did not answer. I beat them as fine as windblown dust. It's a good take. It's a good. That's a good flex right there. I beat them as fine as windblown dust. I trampled them like mud in the streets. You have delivered me from the attack of the people. You have made me the head of nations. People I did not know now serve me. Foreigners cower before me. As soon as they hear of me, they obey me. They all lose heart. They come trembling from their strongholds. The Lord lives! Praise be to my rock! Exalted be my Savior! He is the God who avenges me, who subdues nations under me, who saves me from my enemies. You exalted me above my foes. From a violent man you rescued me. Therefore, I will praise you, Lord, among the nations. I will sing the praises of your name. He gives his king great victories. He shows unfailing love to his anointed, to David, and to his descendants forever. It's Thanksgiving, guys. This is a prayer of David giving thanks. Starts it at the beginning. I love you, Lord. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. Right? And who is equal to God? Nobody. I mean, that's where he's going. He's going down this list, right? Maybe it's an intentional list. Probably more so. This is just the way he operates. But tell God I love him. Tell God what he means to me, what he represents for me, and praise him. David was in a tight spot. David was on the run. David had some of his own guys that were loyal to him, but Saul had an army, a real army. And while David was popular, that didn't stop him from being chased around. David was in trouble on all sides. He's getting ready to lose, but God intervened. This is a more physical manifestation of God looking out for his chosen people. Maybe I said that. Maybe I should rephrase that. God looking out for those who put their faith in him. And sometimes God looking out for those who don't. That's kind of a sign that says, "Hey, I'm here. I need you to believe in me." What's this psalm is probably more relatable to you guys who have been through a gauntlet recently that has brought you back to your faith, or at least started getting you guys to start taking it seriously. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. Folks, if you guys have had your faith tested, or maybe didn't take it seriously, and you found yourself in a bad place, and God got you out, this passage right here might speak more to you than any other part of this psalm, and many other, pretty much, maybe it speaks to you more than any other one. Has God done, is what we're describing here reflective of something that God's done for you? Were you on a bender, maybe? A drug bender, a pill bender? Maybe you almost died. Maybe you just had a snap epiphany or a moment of realization. God nudging you that you're in a bad place that's going to kill you. Maybe you're in depression. I don't understand depression all that much. Maybe it's just maybe your powerful enemy is yourself, your doubts, your negativity, what makes you depressed, whatever has got you down. Maybe God rescued you from that. Maybe God gave you perspective. Maybe God lightened the load a little bit. Maybe he did all the work. Maybe he did just enough for you to pick it up and take it the rest of the way. He rescued me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. God may have saved you. He didn't do it for his health. He did it because he loves you. He didn't do it because he was bored on a Tuesday afternoon or whenever it happened with you. He wasn't bored. He was intentional. He's thoughtful and he's full of love. And 16 through 19, right there, that's a great way of putting it. And those of you who have been on rock bottom and owe where you are to God, maybe appreciate it better than any of us. And I bet that passage right there is all you needed to hear. To the faithful, you show yourself faithful. Blameless, show yourself blameless. Pure, show yourself pure. Hey, Nat, Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. To the devious, you show yourself shrewd. You don't show yourself in a good light. But the faithful, blameless, and pure, those qualities shine. You save the humble, but bring low those whose eyes are haughty. I can be a little full of myself at times, all the time. I can be a little full of myself at times. You, Lord, keep my lamp burning. My God turns my darkness to light, and with your help, I can advance against a troop. With you, I can scale a wall. Do anything. I'll take on anything. David did. He took on Goliath with God's name on his lips. God's word is flawless. He shields all who take refuge in him. I pursued my enemies and overtook them. I did not turn back till they were destroyed, something God told Joshua and the rest of them to do, and they didn't. I crushed them so that they could not rise. They fell beneath my feet. You armed me with strength for battle. Take out your demons. Use God to help fight those demons. Kill them off if you can. And then we've got David talking a little bit here about kind of how he's feeling a little out of place because David did come from humble origins. David did live in the palace for a little bit, but he wasn't nobly born. He was specifically pointed out by Samuel or Nathan, one of the two. Thank you, Jenny. You have a good evening. And happy Thanksgiving if I don't catch you on the stream beforehand. David comes from a humble origin. He's talking about, hey, I've I was a shepherd. I was a boy that got teased because I went against Goliath. I beat this Goliath. All of a sudden, I'm a hero. And then that hero sense gets me in trouble with the current king, and the current king tries to chase me down. And then eventually, I become king because that was God's plan for me. That was God's decree. And now I find myself as a king. Foreigners coming and bowing before me. People obeying me that never listened to me before. I don't know what I'm doing, but God is great. It's God is great, and I'm gonna take this opportunity to do what God needs from me, or asks of me. I've been blessed, David says. I've been blessed, but that just makes me want to use those blessings to serve God more. What a wholesome message that is. Yeah, yeah, big time, Matt. And so that's our stream for tonight. Psalm 18. It's a good one. It's a good one. Bookmark that for you guys when you're in trouble. Maybe Job's a little heavy on you. Maybe Job's a little long for you. Put that part in there. Rescue me from deep waters. All right, everybody. We're going to continue with Psalms tomorrow. More Psalms tomorrow. Plan anyway. That is the plan anyway. We'll see. I would like to stream Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'll probably be in a food coma for streaming on Thursday. So that's probably not going to happen, guys. But if you don't tune in between now and Thanksgiving, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. No matter what your circumstances are. If you're alone, have Thanksgiving with yourself, or see if you can find somebody to spend it with. Be thankful because you're not really alone. Be thankful that God's with you the whole time. Be safe, guys. Be safe. Don't drink and drive and be on the way. Don't drink and drive and be on the alert. Be on the alert for those who will, because it happens. I want all you guys to keep listening to me, because you're nice. You're happy and healthy. I think I go to Psalm for the most for reflection of failure. Good morning, text, or good evening, Texan Italian. It's been pretty up on the up and up though. These Psalms have mostly been more upbeat. We haven't gotten into any of the other Psalms. So this is what I don't like about, like, I'm a Monty Python fan. Been a Monty Python fan since middle school. First time I watched the Holy Grail was great. But there are times when there's a scene in there where God is talking to them, and he says, "You're just like those miserable Psalms. They're so depressing." Have you been depressed listening to these or reading these Psalms so far? 18 chapters in? I'm not. I'm not. But I am still in wonder. David writing all of this. Really deep stuff from this man, who, again, just a shepherd. And like you said, Matt, it's a big gap between being the sheep and being king. Unless you're Jesus, Christ is king, and he is our shepherd. Kind of funny how that works, right, Matt? All right. Texan Italian, Matt Felty, Jenny, who's already left, Alex, Blaine, Veritax, Alias, Emmanuel Osorio. Emmanuel Osorio. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being in the chat. Like I said, hopefully I'll see you guys before Thanksgiving, but if not, have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, be good, enjoy your food, don't choke on it. Don't be the guy getting the Heimlich maneuver at the Thanksgiving dinner table. Don't be that guy or gal. So, more Psalms tomorrow. And in the meantime, guys, have a good night. Oh, wait. Sorry. I was just talking to the chat. To the folks who were not in the chat and just listening, thank you. I know that I encourage you to be part of the chat, but if you don't want to or can't, that's fine. I'm just glad I'm making content that you like to listen to. To everybody catching this on replay, thank you for watching, and hope to catch you live sometime. Everybody have a very good night, and God bless.